And once again, welcome to today's webinar on document downloader for Windchill. So let's quickly look at the agenda for the day. So I will do a quick introduction of myself and boundary system, go through the topic overview on the document downloader, and then the demonstration. And right at the end, we'll have a question and answer session. So if you do have questions during the webinar, feel free to start typing them in the questions section of the GoToWebinar panel, and then we'll get to those right at the end. Quick introduction about myself. My name is Ephraim Poyeng. I am a PLM specialist at Boundary Systems with over 6 years experience on PDC products, specifically Windchill and all its modules. I am a certified Windchill implementer and trainer. About Boundary Systems, we regard ourselves as the technology leader, partnering with a lot of companies, including PDC, Solid Thinking, Charge, Autodesk, and other technology companies. Boundary Systems is number 16 fastest growing private company in the greater Cleveland area. And we are also part of the PDS group of global companies. So if you're looking at the map on the right here, that is where all our companies are actually based. We offer capabilities in product lifecycle management, data management. We also assist our customers with CAD designs and consulting. Also do the simulations as well as the product development, helping our customer get that first product managed. So as I have said, we partner with PDC, or PDC is our main partner. We also partner with other companies that are listed on the slides here to make sure that we deliver a comprehensive solution for our customers. So if you require any additional technical information after today's webinar, you can email me directly at epoyeng@boundarysys.com for any sales queries, sales@boundarysys.com. You can also visit our website, boundarysys.com, for additional information. And we also have a YouTube channel called Boundary Systems. That is where this webinar for today will also be uploaded after today. So if you need to go back and rewatch. Right, so the tool that we are discussing today is called the document downloader. So this is the tool that helps Windchill users to quickly download bulk content data from Windchill with just a single click. So it allows the bulk download of the primary and the secondary data, any attachments that are linked to the CAD files, and any published content from CAD, WT parts and documents that resides in Windchill. It also allows support for the structure navigator. So with the structure navigator, you can simply look at a bill of material for a specific assembly, and then from that assembly, basically download the secondary content. So it could be the step files for all the files that are part of, or CAD files that are part of the assembly structure, or it could just be from a drawing itself, where you basically want to download a PDF for a drawing or a DXF for your drawing. So then there's a couple of features on here. So to run the tool, you basically run it from the Actions drop-down menu in Windchill. So this could be from any objects details page. It can also be from the folder view in Windchill. The nice thing with the folder view in Windchill is that you can select multiple objects that you need to download its secondary content for, and then by just a single action, you're able to download that multiple files in there. And again, it could be from a search. So you run a search results based on a certain keyword, it returns all your results, and you simply select all the returned results, and then from the actions drop down, you're able to just download the objects down. And when you download the objects down, you get a GUI page like this one that's shown here. And if it is from the assembly or bill of material structure, you basically have to make sure that you select the structure navigate or navigation so that it knows that it has to download the contents for all the objects that are part of the BOM structure. And then you simply select the file types that you need to download. So out of the box, this is the list of files that you can download from there. And then the other option is you can download these files into a single folder, or if you want to further structure it into different structure folders, you can then download it as a multiple folder. And then every object or every chat and its secondary object will then be saved into that specific folder. And then as soon as you click OK on this downloader here, it will then generate a zipped file and save it locally on your local machine. All right, so at this stage, I'll go into the Windchill system and basically show you how the tool actually works. So I am in a Windchill system, and I am logged in as the user there, user demo. So the one thing I wanted to mention here is, even before I do that, let's go in and look at one of the files here. So I'm gonna put in a drawing. And then you'll notice that under the drawing content, I have the representations in here. And what I've done with these representations, I've set it in a way that when my drawing is released or when my drawing is checked into Windchill, it generates additional files with it. So I've got additional files that I'll show you just now on here. So if I right click under this default representation and I go to files, you will see that this is the list of files that it actually auto generates as I check in the file. I've got a AutoCAD drawing, a DXF, IGS, and a PDF for this. So the document downloader tool does not generate these files for you. It only exports them out if they are already there. So if I didn't have any of these files here and I try and export them out, it won't be able to export the files because there won't be any files. The other files that it would also download is if you've got any files under the attachments table here. So as you check in your drawing, you can basically go in and generate an attachment that will then go with that drawing. A PDF attachment or a DXF as an attachment. So when you do the download, it will then download that content. Someone might have a question and say, in our Windchill system, as we check in, it only generates a thumbnail image that could be opened in Creo view. How do we get those additional files to be generated? Right. So this is generated using a configuration file that is called publish rules. So it is not an out-of-the-box setup for Windchill, but it is a file that already exists in Windchill. It just needs to be set up and then activated in Windchill. And then as you release or check in, it will then generate those files for you. I'm going to quickly show you that file or how that file looks like. So this is how the file looks like. So I'm basically telling the file to say, whenever the publication or check-in and then the publication has been generated, or the Creo view files have been generated, for a drawing file, it must go and generate those types in there. And if it's a part, it should generate an IGES a step file in a PDF. And I can also go and set conditions as well to say, this is a condition for my drawing. I would note that when my drawing is released, the state for that drawing will be set to released. And then based on this condition, I'll then go and create an if statement that says, if the drawing has been released, it should go and generate the files that I talked about, or these extensions that we talked about at the beginning. Yeah. So that is the publishing rule. So it already exists. You don't have to pay additional fee for that. It's just a matter of just setting it up and configuring it so that it generates the types of exports that you want. So because my file has got those exports already, I will go ahead and then download that content. And then on this page here, I'm gonna say I need to export a PDF file for this, a DXF file, a drawing, an AutoCAD drawing for this drawing, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just download that. So it basically pulls these files, put them in the zip file, and then I can basically just save that zip file on my local directory. And if I go back to that zip file, I can then be able to see the contents of it. It shows me all that content. So if I didn't have a document controller or a document downloader to quickly do this or export this file just with that one click, I basically have to go into each and every one of these files and then save them one at a time. Then the other thing is if I go to an assembly, so I've got a simple assembly here that I've created, and this assembly has got just the two parts. And the two parts, if I look at one of these parts here, under content, there's two parts basically generating an IGES and a step file, or they've got IGES and step file attached to them. So if I'm looking at the structure and we quickly want to export this step files or the step and IGES file and send them out to our supplier, we can quickly from the structure here, go actions, content downloader, and then make sure that I have the structure navigate set. And I'll go ahead and say, I want to be able to delete those two, download those two files. And just to make sure that it looks good with the folders in it, I'll also go and say, create folders for me, and then generate this. So it goes generate the zip file for me, save that zip file. Let's go and have a look at the content of the zip file. Now, you'll notice that in the content of this zip file here, there's actually two folders in there. That's 16, and it also shows me that it is a B1 version, and also the one for the 17. And if I go into each and every one of this folder, it will then give me the IGES and the step file that has been downloaded for me. Right. The other way would be with the search. So if for an example, some of your files have been saved with a certain prefix. In my case, I've got a couple of files that are saved with a motto as its prefix. So it will go and just return the results of all the files with motto in their name or number. And then from here, you can simply select everything, action, download my content, the types of files that I want to download, and then generate the zip file. Then we'll go and export out all the IGES and the step files that are part of the subassembly and its components. And I can quickly send it out to my suppliers or whoever that needs this information at that stage. And as I've said, it saves you a bit of time there because you don't have to go into each and every one of those files and then try and generate or export out those secondary files, those IGES and step files. Yeah, that's basically how that content downloader works. And just to reiterate, the content downloader does not generate that content, so it doesn't generate this IGES file. It just extract them out of the system and just package them into one folder. The other thing I wanted to also maybe add here is I can also do exactly that from a WT part. So for the WT part here, I can go and say, show me all the care items that are linked to all this WT structure. And then just from here, go and download the secondary items. And what it will do is download the files, the secondary files for the assembly, the drawing, as well as those files there. So I can simply say multiple folders and then go ahead and download the PDF, GXF, drawing step file, CGM, and it is a structure navigator. And it simply goes and packages those output files for me. And if I go into each and every one of those files there, I can see all my output files have been generated and exported out onto these folders. All right. Yep, that's all I wanted to just cover on a document downloader. So it basically allows you to quickly generate those files just with that single click. I'm going to go back to the slides here and then just show you the key benefits of the downloader is that it improves the user and the engineering productivity in that this can be quickly generated, and then at times it doesn't even have to be generated by an engineer. It can be generated by an end user of this data if they've got access to the system. And it of course increases efficiency while using the PLM system. It avoids having to miss some of the important data that needs to be shared with the supplier or the external contributors. In that from the assembly bill of material, I can just export everything. And because it's a bulk download, that will definitely save you time, because you don't have to go into each and every one of the object and export out data. Right, I'm just gonna go check if there is any questions at this stage. Okay, see there is a question here. I'm just trying to get to it. What about the WT part we've described by and reference documents, WT documents? Right. So Mark, I'll have to run a test on that, because I'm thinking a reference document is not a secondary document unless if it will have a PDF file as a secondary document. Then when you run this from a WT part, it will then be able to download that described by document as well, but the secondary part of it. I will definitely test it with we've just described by document to see if it just downloads that, or you will have to have a secondary content for described by document to be able to do that. Great question. I'll definitely get back to you with that. The second question: does it work with Windchill 10.2? So the tool has been tested from Windchill 11.0 up to 12. But the way the tool has been set up, or it gets set up, ideally it should work for 10.2 as well. But I will find that information out for you and share that information with you. But my thinking is it should be able to do that. The way it gets set up, because you don't really install the software on the server for it. It is just the configurations that you change in the files. But we'll definitely get you a final question on that, final answer on that. Is there a way to republish the required outputs for existing objects, preferably in small batches? Yes, you can. So it could be done through a publisher, a visualization scheduler that you can run in Windchill. Yes, yeah, that's the only way you would be able to republish some of those already existing objects to generate additional data. There is a way to do it. All right, I think that is all the questions. Oh, wait. There's another one. For those using model-based definition to have PDFs generated, any configuration changes to be done inside the publisher files. So the 3D PDFs that are generated, are they just to make sure I understand your question, you want to find out if it will still generate the 3D PDFs for model-based definition in Windchill, right? Yeah, so that I have to test it for model-based definition, but I think it will because it's still a PDF that it generates from that part or assembly with model-based definition. So my thinking is it should still be able to publish a PDF, a 3D PDF for it, because I know with just a part or an assembly PDF, it basically creates a 3D PDF for it. I just do not know for the model-based definition, but it's definitely something we can test. Okay, 3D PDFs are generated from Creo and SolidWorks. Yes, so remember the generation of those secondary contents is actually done through Creo as well. It uses the publisher for that. So my thinking is it will still create them as 3D PDFs with that model-based definition. But I'll definitely run a quick test for that as well. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Jay. Okay, I think that is all the questions that I have. I'm just going through the list again just to make sure I didn't miss any question. All right. Yes, I think I've covered all the questions on the list, and then I will definitely come back to Jay and I think it was one, but the Windchill 10.2 setup, and yeah, that is all the questions, and I think I've covered all of those. So if there is no other questions, I will just continue on the slides here. So we are also offering obviously training on Windchill 12.0. At the current moment, most of the trainings are still visual. I still offered visually due to COVID restrictions, but we have started opening for the in-center or on-site trainings as well. So if you want to look at the full schedule of our training classes, you can go to our website, support.trainingpdc.com. You should be able to find the schedule there with all the necessary information. And just on the information again, if you have any additional or technical questions on today's topic, feel free to reach out to me by sending me an email at epoing@boundarieseas.com, sales@boundarieseas.com for any sales queries. And visit our website at boundarieseas.com, and you can later check out our Boundary Systems YouTube channel, where this video is going to be uploaded to tomorrow, if you need to revisit it and get that additional information there. So at this stage, I would like to thank everyone for attending, and have the good rest of the day. Thank you so much.